Do it again.
Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world.
You're listening to Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling.
A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Don't try and church it up, son.
You can't handle the truth.
I am big. The picture that got small.
Your first one's on us.
Folks, welcome to Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling. I'm your host, Mark Rigodana, and with me as always...
Richie Bird!
We caught you off guard there.
You know what happened? I sent Joey a text, our producer, Joey, and I forgot to hit send. And I happened to look down, and it was just I'm like, oh. And so I was wondering why he didn't say anything backstage. So now
it was from 3 weeks ago. Joey, your car's finished. You could pick it up. So how you doing, buddy?
Oh, wait, no, he just wrote me back. He said, I love you, too. So, how are you?
I'm so happy love's blooming on the show.
It's Thursday. It's Thursday.
Thursday? How's the pigeon? Or how's the... I almost said pigeon. How's the dove?
It's a dove. Well,
how's
listen.
Dove?
It's still going on. I'll have it all. I'll have the whole story for you on Monday.
All right.
It's crazy.
Good.
It's crazy. It might be my... dude, I should bring him out and have Denny make him disappear.
You could probably get a redneck to come.
Because that's what I need at this point. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm excited for today's show. I feel like today's going to be a lot of fun. A good
Me
friend
too.
on.
It's very different.
Yeah, it's going to be a different vibe, man. We've had a magician on before, but he didn't get to do many tricks because
and he had a shitty feed.
Because the feed, you couldn't see any tricks. So this is going to be really exciting.
Yeah, and then he wrote me. I love how he wrote me the next day. He goes, "I figured it out." I'm like, "Thanks, Rick. It's a little late."
So I think let's just get right to it, man.
Yeah, man.
We got a great show.
We do.
This next guy coming on, he's a very good friend of mine. We've been working together a bunch lately, and as soon as I met him and we hung out, we'll talk about how we met and all that stuff during the show. But as soon as I met him, I thought, this guy's amazing. I can't wait to get him on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Denny Corby.
Who is Denny Corby?
Denny Corby.
Denny Corby.
Denny Corby.
Denny Corby, a magician and comedian.
I grew up in Scranton, and I thought for years I was going to run my family's paper supply business.
You guys have had an absolutely phenomenal quarter. Everyone's doing a great job, except for Johnny.
You've got to be kidding me. I don't know how you explain this. I have no idea how he did this. Denny Corby.
That was just magic.
Have you had a burger in Vegas? That's nothing. Great dinner.
Chicken is $14.
Right?
How the hell?
Denny, boy, really nice. And also, your interaction with George Wallace is wonderful.
We're in Jimcourt, Pennsylvania, doing a magic show with like 500 people. Okay, like 450. But
I'm impressed.
That's impressive.
That's pretty solid.
Oh my gosh. Are you going to tell us how you did that?
No.
Please welcome the tasty magic of Denny Corby.
Nice.
Denny.
Yeah, I like
Oh my
Denny.
God.
How are you,
we're so
Denny?
happy
Cheers,
to
gentlemen.
have you on, buddy. Look, he knows how the show begins.
What are
Every
you?
show
Yeah.
starts with a drink.
What are you drinking? What are you drinking?
So this is me and my best friend did a bourbon tour last year in Louisville, and I heard about this place called Three Boys Farm, and it's so we got this limo to drive us around because we're not driving drunk through Louisville. That's like asking for it. So so we have this stretch limo pull up to this, like it's literally a shack. Like we're in the middle of nowhere, and this limo pulls up, and I was like, "Oh, it's this smaller place. I heard there's like a different tasting room." They're like, "Oh, that's down the bottom." So now we're in this limo going down this. It's not even a dirt road. You know, like when it's like the grass in the middle, just like tracks on like the side. Like it's like 120 foot, or not 120 foot, but like 120-inch limos, like driving down this dirt road, and you go to like this glorified like like barn, and they have just a bunch of bourbon in there, and you taste straight from the barrel, and then whatever one you like, you watch them bottle it, and then they give you the bottle and go here. So
Oh my God. Can I tell you something?
it was like a crazy experience. I was like, we are not making it out of here alive. Like,
There has to be a bunghole reference in there.
Mark and I have been doing this show for 2 years, and we've asked everybody what they're drinking for 2 years. Most people forget or don't. That was the greatest "What are you drinking?" answer we've had ever. Nothing even close to it.
There's so many stories before we move on to the next thing. There's so many questions about that story. First off, you took a limo to the shack. Were you just waiting for, like, was this supposed to be like a Wizard's Life Matters hashtag or like...
So it was. I think the limo driver felt bad because at this point I like jacked my back really bad. Little did I know on this trip I had two extruded discs. So I think he felt bad having us like walk down. So I'm like, we can walk. He's like, nah, we like got this. And like he could barely turn around down there. It was like so small. It was. I felt so bad.
Was it rough picking your favorite liquor? Because
no, actually, it was no, because we were already feeling good at that point. So they all were just like, this is amazing. It was a cool experience actually because like you got to like see how they make everything. You got to see all the barrels, and they turn the barrels daily and nightly. So you can taste it one day and taste it the next day, and it's completely different. So that's why. So like you got to taste a bunch of ones. They had like the giant copper, like it looked like a enema or something. Like he just like went in with this like copper thing, pulled it out. Like I have video on my phone. He just like pouring this thing. He takes you to another room and like caps it, seals it. Except I thought when he was talking about different numbers, the number he was saying I thought was the alcohol contents, but it was the price. So I went to go pay, and I was like, "Oh, this is the price of the bottle, not the alcohol content."
this isn't just strong whiskey.
Yeah.
It's expensive whiskey.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? When in Rome, I was feeling good. It is what it is.
You gotta do it if you're.
Exactly.
Richie,
So,
what are you drinking, buddy?
Well, there's a story. I went to Stop and Shop, and they said go in the back, and I bought some summer ale from Sam Adams. There's no story. I'm joking.
He was in a Corolla. He went into the parking lot.
I moved my Camry into the parking lot.
I'm getting all fancy because I want to get white girl drunk and just watch some magic. I got the Stefano de Blasi. It's a nice Shiraz.
Nice little wine, nothing wrong. So we got a whiskey, we got a wine, and we got a beer. We're like a George Thorogood song.
Now all we need is a joke.
Yeah.
We'll bring out a joke. Denny, you do magic, but I don't think you do street jokes, do you?
No, I'm not that funny. I'm more like situational funny.
All right, because this is like a variety show. We got I'm more of a storyteller. Richie's a great joke writer, and you're a magician. What's the quickest way to stop a variety show? Go for the juggler.
Oh.
Well, I was thinking of a magic joke. I could swear I remember how many magicians does it take to screw in a light bulb, but I can't remember the punchline.
The worst one is what's the difference between a pizza and a magician? A pizza can feed a family of 4.
There you go. That's all we wanted, Denny. There you go.
Yeah, we never asked for a good joke. We just want a joke.
Well, I didn't realize the bar was that low for the show. So
yeah.
No, we love it. The cornier the jokes, the better. I love hearing people tell jokes.
Your whiskey is too highbrow for us, bro.
So, from your intro video, there's so much I have to ask. But let's first start. What was the show? Were you like you were like firing somebody? You were like an executive?
Oh, so it's like a really obscure show that like no one knows about, but it's a guy, Johnny Bananas. He was on The Real World years ago. He has a show on NBC called First Look. He was also on like another game show. Wasn't Real World. It was something else.
Something like 1:30 in the morning?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Johnny Banana.
So my family owns the paper supply company in Scranton. So if you watch The Office, we're like the real life Dunder Mifflin. So the inside joke is my dad tells people his 30-year-old son quit a third-generation family business to turn tricks for a living.
I like your dad.
Yeah. Humor runs a little in the family. Have to have thick skin around us. But Johnny has this TV show called First Look where he just basically goes around and does like random things. And he came by the office and did like a day in the life of the real office. And my dad goes, "Hey, do you want to be like the fake sales manager?" And I was like, "TV time, of course." So it was just me on his show. It's one of those, either people are like, "What was that?" Or like, "You got to meet Johnny Bananas." Like there's no middle ground. It's either like they're all in and know all about him, or they had no clue what that bit was.
Right. That's funny.
I absolutely love his name's Johnny Bananas.
What?
I love that his name's Johnny Bananas.
Yeah, I've seen the show. It's on after whatever. It's
SNL.
Yeah, and I'm always like, what the hell is this? Yeah. So now I know. Interesting.
Yep.
So, how the hell did you even get into magic? Like, what is the journey that one takes?
Probably the same. Probably how you got into comedy. I mean, it was for me. I think every kid loves magic to a point, like especially when they're like younger. Everyone at least dabbles in it, and I was the mistake in my family. So my parents were very young when they had me, like early 20s, 19. So when I was 4, 5, 6, they were 24, 25, 26, and I was like, I want to do magic. They're like, have fun. I was like, I want to play drums. They're like, have at it. So they were young themselves. I was young, so like whatever I want to do, for the most part, they were kind of like, go have fun as long as you don't kill yourself or hurt anybody else. So magic always stuck. They always encouraged me to do whatever I wanted to do. And short story long, I was serious, got more serious around like 11, 12, 13 years old. But I never saw like successful magicians. Like I never saw people killing it. But then when I started getting older, around 22, 23, 24, my whole life I was always doing like oddball shows, like during school and college, high school, doing stuff. And I ended up working for my family's business for a couple of years, and I was still doing shows here and there. And towards the end of it, they saw me doing a little bit more shows and saw my passion kind of spark a little bit more, especially when I was like doing like live shows. And, they sat me down one day towards the end of the year and like, listen, we know you don't love working for us. Why don't you quit the biz? Why don't you go try the magic full time? Give it a year, 2, 3 years. The last thing you want to do is you just don't want to be 30, 40, 50, 60, however old you are, looking back on life going, what if I would have tried it?
Well, God bless them, dude. That's great.
Yeah. Granted, it was a rough start. Like in the beginning, I was like, oh, I got a savings and I have a website. People will book me. That didn't happen. But then I started surrounding myself around other successful entertainers, like not just magicians, other successful people who like I never knew existed, working in like the corporate world and just like other different niches and markets. And I was like, oh, you can make a solid living at this? Like, this is amazing. So once that kind of opened up my eyes, I was like, oh, okay, something's here now. So I think I would have done it sooner if I surrounded myself with more people who were like doing it more. But I'm happy it even happened the way it did. So,
who are some of the people you look up to?
One guy's Bill Malone. He like it's a lot of like these corporate guys. Like to me, it's the people who are like low key killing it. Like I'm sure there's probably a ton of comedians who are hysterical, who make a good living doing like the comedy club circuits and like the corporate events. The people who do kind of that and like the magic world, who I kind of like look up to.
Yeah, when someone asks me who's your favorite comic, I say no one you ever heard of. You know what I mean?
Same.
Yeah.
Same. Like, who's your favorite magician? I'm like, Bill Malone. I start like rattling off a bunch of other names, and then people are like, who? Like then it's the same thing. It's like, so they'll be like, who's your favorite comedian? They'll ask me like, who's your favorite magician? I'm like, oh, like Bill Malone, Tom Pache, blah 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 blah. They're like, what about David Blaine? I'm like, oh, sure, right. Yeah, Copperfield. Oh, yep. They start like, it's all like the normal names then. So,
It's so odd that it's and people define success by popularity, not necessarily like, oh, these people are doing what they love and making a great living.
Yeah, which a weird like little side thing too is like being like doing what I do, and like you probably the same way. Like when you get booked for these random shows, conferences, and associations, to me it's like you just like learn about like how many different businesses there are, and like, wait, you do what? Like I didn't even know that was like a thing. Like it's like these weird little markets, and you're like, this is amazing. I think it just opens up your eyes to like how much real opportunity there is in this world. Like it's crazy. Like it's just nuts. It's nuts.
Now, do you hang with a lot of magicians, right?
Yeah,
like,
a lot of magicians. I try to hang with comedians as well. I just try to hang with cool, fun people because that's the vibe that I like to have for my shows. So that's kind of what I go through. Pardon?
How'd you end up on this show?
Mark paid me.
Far from cool. And where do you live now? Where are you?
My exact address is no. Check your closet. Turn around. No. I live up in Clark Summit, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So right outside Scranton.
Yeah, you're not from Scranton.
Yeah, so I'm like 5-6 minutes from Scranton.
Oh, nice.
Is there a huge outlet for magic up there?
Nope.
No.
There's the Houdini Museum, isn't there?
Yep.
That's in Scranton, right? The Houdini.
Yep.
Yeah. What's their names? The people that run it.
Dick and Dorothy.
Dick and Dorothy. Yes. Yeah, I know them well from Scott Bruce's room at the Mohegan Sun in Wilkes Bar. They come all the time. They're great. Yep. Dick and Dorothy. Yeah. And every Friday night when I'm there, they come. And every Friday night they go, you got to come to the museum tomorrow. And I'm always too hungover to make it.
It's dangerous when there's a comedy club like in the casino. You're like, oh, this is not going to end well.
Yeah, come on. I'm going to go see Houdini. I got a casino and beer.
I laugh because when you're at the casino, they still follow the drinking laws. Usually casinos are 24 hours. They don't care. So all of a sudden you're walking around the casino having a ball, drinking a beer, and then all of a sudden somebody walks over and goes, you have to dump that out. Like, what?
It's 2 o'clock.
Like, we should still be drinking, partying.
It's weird.
That's why you bring your own cups, or you ask for a coffee or something, and then you go wash it out, and you put your drink in there.
Smart.
I know nothing about. I don't know what you're talking
about. So let's get to the tricks. I'm excited. I want to see some illusions.
Oh boy! All right, let's. I'll start with one, and then we'll see how it goes, and then we'll adapt from there. So. Sure. I found it's interesting, like, you've probably done a bunch of different corporate events, associations, and stuff like that, even just different groups at comedy clubs. I don't know if you found, but, whenever you get people of like the same background or the same area, even like the same companies, they tend to think and act the same. Like those people tend to like attract their tribe. Like they tend to like each group, you're like, oh, like I know if I go here, they're going to be about this. Like they're going to act like this. They're going to enjoy this kind of humor more than other stuff. So same with like magic. I found whenever you get a group of people together, whether it's for a corporate event, a club, whatever, they tend to think and act the same. And it sounds really weird, but the only way I could describe it is with a magic trick. So collectively, the two of you are going to help me come up with a random playing card. So Mike, I'm going to say, do you want to use the red cards or the black cards? If you say red cards, we'll either use the hearts or diamonds. If you say black, either the clubs or spades. Whatever you say, we will use.
Okay,
want to use the red?
Richie.
He's actually Richie.
You call me Mike because I put up Magic Mike, but my name's
whatever. I knew that too, but his Magic Mike.
I was like, well, he just called Mark Mike. I go, oh, wait a minute. I know what happened. All right. That was great.
I knew it was Richie too, which is like the even worse part. So Richie, do you want to use the red cards or black cards?
Red cards.
Red cards. So Mark, do you want to use the hearts or the diamonds?
Diamonds.
Interesting. Okay, this is going swimmingly well. So Richie, so you said red cards, then we had diamonds. Do you want to use the high diamonds or low diamonds?
High.
The high diamonds. Now, do you consider high above the 7, 8, or 9?
8.
Above the 8. Okay. So Mark, above the 8, do you want to use the odd cards or the even cards?
Let's go even.
Even. So that would be the 8, the 10. And the queen and the ace, because Jack would be 11, queen 12, king 13, ace 14, however you want to play that. So So Mark, so you said even, so that's the 8, the 10, the queen, or the ace. Mike or Richie, I keep looking right there. Damn you. Name any 2 of those. 8, 10, queen, ace.
Got it. I got it. 8 and queen.
8 and queen. This is so nuts. Mark, final decision. The 8 or the queen.
Let's go queen.
So the queen of diamonds is the card that you all collectively came up with. So I'm used to doing this like in my studio. So I'm going to try and like get this here. So this deck of cards, all the cards are in order. So there's all the spades. There's all the diamonds. There's the ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, king. I'll show you all those, but I'll get to those in a second. But collectively, you all came up with the queen of diamonds. Yeah?
Yeah.
That was your card. So yes. I'm going to leave this up here so that you don't think I switched it. I'll try and leave it right there. Because I know if I put it on the table or something, you think I'm going to do something shady. I'll leave this right here for now. So, like I said, I'm going to leave it right there. It's going to be weird. All the cards are in order. There's all the hearts. There's all the clubs. There's all the diamonds. There's all the spades. But what's interesting, though, is on the back of all these cards, I have different clients of mine from the past, like, year or so. So, like, ADP, they're on the Ace of Hearts. Janus Capital, we have UBS, Wind Creek Casino, Comcast. I have like a standing desk. I don't know why this is so awkward. Hilton, Marriott, every single one, as you can see and go through, every single card is different. Every single card is a different company on all different cards. So D&H, National Academy of Engineers, Club Corp, USO, AAA, Kalahari, McDonald's, GE, Porsche, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Pocono Raceway, NASCAR. Every single one of these cards has a completely different company. I'm going to go through quick because I know people really don't care. But Renaissance Hotels, Junior Achievement, the Hunt School of Princeton, Dewey Engineering, all those are different. But the card that you all came up with, the Queen of Diamonds, on the back is drinks, jokes, and storytelling.
Wow, look at that. Wow.
That card just lost its value.
Mark, we did that trick. It was you and me.
It was all you. It was all you.
That's awesome. Wow.
Dude, that's insane. Oh, so you start you're doing the shows, you start hanging out with some magicians that are getting that are successful. How did you go about getting on Penn and Teller? Because I love Penn and Teller. I'm a huge fan. There you are with Allison Hannigan. That must have been nice. George Wallace.
Great Love
that was a nice surprise. It wasn't a surprise because I knew going into it. But about 2 weeks before I was flying out, they were like, "Hey, what if you use George Wallace?" And I was like, "He's still a thing?" No, George. I was like, "Yes, that'd be amazing." And he was so much fun to work with. We had so much fun banter, and and they have to cut it down. That's normally about like a 10-minute routine that I do in my live show. We had to cut that down to 7 minutes. So there was a lot of fun byplay that didn't make it to air. But he was awesome. Like, I was so thrilled because they were like, "You want to use Penn and Teller?" And I was like, "Meh." They're like, "How about?" Like, I was like, "I'd rather use 2 fun audience members than anything else." Because Penn and Teller react a certain way. You want that. To me, I thrive off that energy of like the crowd. So I'd rather have 2 fun people. But then when they said George, I was like, hands down, let's do it. Awesome. But I got on that show. How I got anything in life, I just ask. Pretty much everything I've gotten in life, I just ask. People are like, how'd you get that gig? I called and asked them who books it. Like, how'd you get on Penn and Teller? I found the email and emailed them and said, "Hey, I want to be on the show. Like, who do I talk to?" Like, it's one thing that my family always taught me. My dad's like a serial entrepreneur, like a businessman. He's just like, if you want anything, he's got to ask for it. So I just asked.
Very cool.
So you fly out to Vegas. How nervous were you? Did you really, like, deep in your heart, did you go, "I have a trick this is gonna trick them. This is gonna make them"?
That's tough. I don't know. It's hard to go back then. I think I was just more excited just for the whole experience because they film about 60 acts and only air about 52. So they don't air every act because it's the same thing. sometimes acts don't work. Sometimes things just go horribly wrong, and whatever, people get sick, people, can't make it for some reason. So they always overbook it. Plus the network technically has final say. So they can go as much as everybody else, like the network can go, no. So, I was getting nervous towards the end because they kind of, I didn't find out until almost like a month prior what my air date was. So it filmed in March. I filmed in March and it didn't air till September. So every day was like, what's going on? Am I going to make it? And then so it was, trying not to tell people and stuff, because what if I didn't make the cut? I didn't want to have to be like, I didn't make it on. Here's just speaking about, I know it has nothing to do with drinks or jokes, more on the storytelling side, which I think, like, the older I get, the more I realize the universe works in weird ways, which, not to get serious or anything, but I'm like, this is just like crazy. So this is, my mom gave me a box of like a bunch of crap, like old magic stuff, concert tickets from back when I was younger. She was like, cleaning out the basement, found all this stuff. So like I have ticket stubs here, seeing Fuel and Seven Dust in 2001, Third Eye Blind in 2000. My mom took me to go see The Offspring in 1999.
There you go.
My parents were awesome. Like taking a 10-year-old to go see The Offspring. It was lit. The Offspring and Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. Like, talk about a lot.
Oh, wow.
Mom, will you get in the mosh pit with me? I don't want to do this by myself.
Well, like, think about it. I look back. I was like, at my age now, if I had a 10-year-old, they were like, I'm going to go see The Offspring. I'd be like, hell yeah, let's roll. Like, of course. Like, I'd be the same way. Jimmy Eat World, Kevin James back in 2005, Breaking Ben 2003. But anyway, I saw Penn and Teller came to Scranton Sunday, February 4th, 2001, which really means nothing. But I looked at my schedule. I filmed. So Penn and Teller were in Scranton, February 4th, 2001. Almost 18 years later to the day from when Penn and Teller were in Scranton, I filmed for Fool Us. Like, I filmed on March 4th.
Wow.
So almost 18 years to the day from when they were in Scranton, I was on their stage in Vegas filming for Fool Us. Like, that was just like the weirdest. I was like, it still gives me like the chills every time I think about it. It's just like, what are the odds? Like, that's just crazy.
Back in the 80s, they were in an off-Broadway. They had their own off-Broadway theater. That's really where they hit in New York. And I worked for TKTS, which is a half-price tickets booth for Broadway shows. And I got free tickets to see Penn and Teller. And my girlfriend at the time, I go, come on, we're going to go see, you want to go? We'll go see Penn and Teller. She goes, no, anytime I go see a magic show or something, they always pick me out of the audience. I'm like, they're not going to pick you out of the audience. It's a Broadway show. It's like, I'm just, don't you know? Penn went out into the audience, went right up to the girl I was dating, and she was so pissed. And at one point, he goes, "Can I do something to piss you off?" Like, she was mad at me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then I saw him on the street a few days later, and I go, "Hey, great show, man." He goes, "Thanks, dude." I go, I was there the other night, and the girl you asked why she was so pissed, and he goes, "Yeah." I go, "She was pissed at me." Like I told him, he goes, "Oh, that made sense." It was really funny that night.
Another
amazing.
guest we had on, Ronnie Marmo. He's really close with Teller.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he always says, like, if you ever go out to Vegas, let me know. I'll hook you up. And I'm like, I'm thinking of when everything goes back to normal, making a trip just to go do that and take him up on the offer. I just love it. Walk us through the show. So how many people are on during the taping?
Yeah, so it's quite the operation. They have, it's nuts. So they film over about 2.5 weeks. All the
Bless
acts.
you, Richie.
They film all the acts over 2 weeks. They do 2 shows a day with 2 completely different 700-person audiences. Wow. So they do a morning show and an afternoon show. And as that's going on, they have another production team doing all the B-roll and all the story shoots. In the beginning of every Penn and Teller set, for like the show, they talk, the backstory of like all those people. So as the shows are being filmed, there's another crew filming all like the intro story stuff. It's pretty crazy. So for my show, I was the morning show, and I was the first act on, which was I was thrilled about, because you could be down there for a little bit of time, you could be down there for a lot of time.
Wow.
So I was the first act on, which I was thrilled about, because I don't want to, you know what I mean? I think it just mentally gets like your head, and because you're under their stage. Once you're backstage, so it's technically a game show too. So game show rules apply. So Penn and Teller can't even know or see who's going to be on their show before they get on stage. So like it didn't happen to me, but like I've had other friends who had to be like pushed into bathrooms and closets and all that stuff, because like all of a sudden Penn and Teller would like have to go to the bathroom or have to like walk by, and they're not supposed to see the acts before. They'd have to like shove them into like closets and rooms to hide people and stuff. And like one friend told me he had to be like covered with like a towel or something, because like there was nowhere for them to go, but they had to like hide them some way. Like craziness. It's nuts. But yeah, so they film over about 2.5-3 weeks. And I will say they really look out for the best in magic. Like they really want to see the best.
Yeah.
They're not there to screw anybody. You don't get paid a lot, but they actually pay you to be out there. Like they pay you to be on the show. It's not great money at all, but at least you get paid, which is pretty cool. But it's one of those, like I would have paid to be on there. Like,
right.
Like, so like, they cover travel, couple nights hotel, your food and stuff. Overall, it was a really great experience. So I have zero complaints. Even if I wouldn't have made it on, it still would have been like a cool experience.
Have you heard any nightmare scenarios of people who really screwed up when they were on their way in?
Yeah. So I forget who the guy was, but there was a guy who was down in like the holding area with us. So the cool part is like underneath the stage is where all their props are. So you're just like surrounded by like their set. Which is really neat. So, like there's like chickens running around and stuff.
I got a dove in my yard if you want.
You need a dove for one of your tricks?
I don't know where I'm going to hide it, but I'll take it. So there was a guy who I guess his act just didn't go well. Like it's whatever happened. It was beyond fixing for that day. So he was waiting with us backstage. So if time allowed, they were going to allow him to reshoot once all the acts did like their thing. He would have the opportunity, if time allowed, to go back up and film his act, which is like really cool.
Down for it, didn't you?
What?
You all slowed down the rest of the day.
I know.
To screw the guy over.
No, he was like a phenomenal like sleight of hand dude. Because he was doing some stuff, and I'm like I shouldn't be here. You should be like spotlighted. Like this is amazing. But no, so it's like they really want. It's a really good show. Like they really want the best there, and they want to help you look the best on stage too. Where I know there's some shows where they don't always look out for the best for the performers, or they might purposely.
Any comedy show you've ever seen.
Yeah. There's gonna be 150 people and there's no microphone. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's
great.
Did he get to do his trick again? Did he?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? Okay, I was wondering.
So once you're done, they escort you out. Like
Goodbye.
You are done. Like goodbye, see ya, thank you. They technically don't even want you hanging out like the other acts during the day, or like afterwards, because then because it kind of makes sense. Because then because you know how you did, like if you fooled them or not. So they don't want. I kind of get they don't want it getting around, but you end up figuring out who fools them and who doesn't. But it's because of the people who didn't go on yet. You don't want them to mess with their mindset and stuff. And,
yeah. I hear you.
That's wild.
Did you get any work out of that show? Did you?
Actually, I did. It came actually recently. I just booked a gig for next year. Because the guy saw me on Fool Us, and booked me from it. It really just makes booking gigs easier.
You have
a magic
stamp
show
of approval.
A little bit. Like magic is weird. I'm not 100% sure about comedy, but just because you get on a TV show doesn't mean anything.
In magic?
Yeah, like just because
It
So to
matters
me-
in comedy. I know what you're saying. It matters a little in comedy. You definitely,
Yeah, it definitely helps the clout. But like I didn't solely rely on it. So like I'm like a hustler at heart. So same thing. How to get on Fool Us? I just ask people for things. And if they say yes, great. If not, no big deal. So what I did is so once I got my air date, I knew like game on. I had this whole plan because I knew people who were on it, and then you see them like when their air date was in their home, just like live streaming or like on their Instagram, like I'm on TV. And I'm like, you don't have friends over? You're gonna have like a little party? I threw a party. So I had 150 people who paid $30 a pop to come watch a show with me that they can watch for free at home.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So I had a huge, I had a huge viewing party. Actually, if you go on my YouTube channel, you'll find it. It was epic. I had food for everybody. I had like a huge food layout. I bought everybody's first drink. I had a DJ. I had a guy outside. People were coming in juggling fire. So people were coming in, a guy juggling fire. I had
awesome.
The show. My routine was based off my own fake restaurant called Corby's. Because I entered it by saying one of my goals in life is to own my own restaurant named after myself. Ha ha ha! Not Denny's, Corby's. Boom! There we go. Look at this production value. This is amazing.
Joey.
So the funny part was the Foolest people didn't tell me that when I said that line, they had Denny Corby behind, and then when they said it, they changed it to Corby's. So I was like, one of my goals in life is to own my own restaurant named after myself. Not Denny's, Corby's. And then I was going through and they're like, cut. And I'm like, what'd I do? They're like, did you not realize the sign behind you changed? And I was like, there's no monitors. Of course, no, I didn't notice. So they're like, pause a minute and then make like a Vanna White. I was like, okay. So like it changed behind. So I had Corby's cookies made. I had Corby's mugs made. I went all out.
Wow.
It actually cost me like $45 a person for every $30 ticket spent. It ended up costing me that show.
I would have charged the 30 ahead and then not done a thing.
But the thing was like, so I knew that it's one of those things like if I don't make a big deal about it, nobody else will. So what I also did is it airs on the CW network. So I reached out to personally every CW affiliate in the country and said, hi, my name is Denny Corby. I'm going to be on the last episode of Penn and Teller's Fool Us for the season. If you would like, I'm willing to make myself available for any in-studio promotions at my own cost. So leading up to it, I think I had like 10 news stations from like around the country. So I flew to like all these different like news stations. Literally, like I flew to go do like a 5-minute set and then leave. Like I was in like middle of nowhere, Kentucky. Like it was like the most random spots, like middle of nowhere, like West Virginia. Like it was like awesome. Places where like you had to fly, but then still drive 2 hours to like the TV station. Like it was, I was like, what am I doing? Like
that's one of those. It really seems like a great idea. You start to do it.
And then when it's 5 a.m. and you're driving through a cornfield to get to a TV station, you're going, what am I doing with my life?
See, yeah, I would have done one and then like called everybody who asked me to do it and been like, yeah, I can't make it. That's it.
I got the flu that week.
I did Wyoming.
There were a couple where I flew in on the first flight. I would get in by like 7. I would do the 8 or 9 spot and then fly home.
Wow. That's dedication, man.
It's pretty genius.
But at the same time, I think I have a lot of money, but I think I have a pretty cool demo video now because it's all those like news stations. It has some of that like social proof and stuff. So plus to me, like, was I just going to sit at home and like not do anything? So I booked it around when I didn't have other gigs. So part of the time I was also on the road doing shows also. So it wasn't the worst, but to me, it's just all about, I don't know. I always would go down without a fight. I'm not going to go down because someone else, you know what I mean? Like, so to me, it's just like nothing else to do. Why not?
Might as well.
That is a great story, dude. Wow.
Awesome. So, do you have another illusion for us?
I do.
We'll wrap
Richie,
soon, but
do you have?
No, it's mine. But I'm sorry.
The only reason why I wear glasses is just to do this to people. Because they go, "Did you just?" I'm like, "No, I was fixing my glasses. I don't know what you're talking about." Even though I didn't do that to you. But so don't say it out loud. But if you were to like look at like a clock on the wall, is there a time that might mean something to you? Like I know some people know like when they were born. I don't know if you have kids. Maybe you know when they were born. I don't know. Maybe you like 3 o'clock. That's when you start drinking for this show. I don't know. But don't say anything out loud. But do you have like a time that you can think of?
Yes.
Okay, don't say it out loud. Now, just answer yes or no, or just confirm. Is it a special time or is it just a complete random time?
It's a special time.
Okay, makes it a little bit easier, sometimes harder. Okay, what's going to happen is I'm going to attempt to reach through the interwebs, through the webcams, reach into your head and pull out the time and put it onto my watch. Just do me a favor. Can you count out loud for me from 1 to 12? I'm going to pull up a little pin so I can move hands. There you go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
You looked and sounded so constipated doing that. Like you were like really good until then. You just got like real tense. Like you got real serious, and then you kind of like puckered up a little bit. I was like,
you know what?
Can we get a replay on that? No, I'm kidding.
I thought you were going to stop me at a number, and that's why I was like, is it now? Is it now? Is it now? But you didn't stop. You made me go through the whole thing.
Let me, what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Light or dark?
Dark.
Like royal blue?
Yes.
The pen is blue. The pen is blue. The goddamn pen is blue. All right. What color is your car?
Dark gray.
All right, let's go. I think it's gonna be about here. I'm gonna leave it up here so nothing can happen. What's the time that you were thinking of?
7:19.
And what's 7:19?
It's my birthday.
7:19 is your birthday.
Yeah.
But I could have known what your birthday was, but there's no way that's the time that I knew that you would think about.
Right.
Which is weird because
it pops up a lot when I look at the clock. Which probably is just a coincidence, like it probably.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, 7:19. I always see it, so that's why when you said clock, I'm like, oh, that's weird. 7:19 pops up a lot for me.
That's very weird because the time on my watch.
Get the hell out!
Get the fuck out of here! How the hell did you? Holy crap!
There you go. The ring light added an extra glare I didn't anticipate. My light was adding a extra glare, so I was trying to find that spot too.
Wow, Denny.
Weird stuff.
Before we have to cut out, Denny and I both got to work for a really cool organization called Star Treatment, and I would like to talk about it a little bit with you because another friend of ours, Matt Dorito, who is a guitar player for Pop Evil, he founded it, and weird. This is another how you talked about with the you were talking about like Penn and Teller. You did it like 18 years to the day. So I was on Don Jameson's show in New York City, and we interviewed Matt, and he talked about he was doing these fundraisers for this show for Star Treatment, and then we did the thing, and I believe Tom Kiefer was also on from Cinderella and some other people. I didn't think nothing of it. I randomly get a phone call from Denny, who I haven't talked to in a while. And Denny asked me to do a show, and you explain what the show was.
Yeah, so it was short story long. It was just a fundraiser for Star Treatments, and I knew the people in the audience a lot. Like I have a pretty good following. If I do like a live show, I can pretty much sell it out every time. Like to the point where I have people who come to every show, and I'm like, okay, I saw you bought tickets. Like, are you sure you want to come? Like, it's all the same stuff. But so I was like, I think I'm going to bring in Mark, someone to do comedy. I think it'll be like a nice, just break up the show a little bit. Cause I know like, even though it's a fundraiser show, Start Treatments, it's a fundraiser. It's a nonprofit charity. that Matt Dorito started, the bass player of Pop Evil. He helps get kids who are going through like cancer treatments and stuff. He said over 85% of families with kids who have like some sort of cancer, like really bad rare disease, end up going bankrupt, because even if both parents are working, one has to stop working, plus the treatments and bing. Yeah. So and a lot of them can't afford to live near major cities, so they don't have reliable vehicles. Now they're taking their unreliable vehicles, trying to drive into the major cities, worrying about parking, driving, traffic, on top of, their kids now going through cancer treatments and surgeries and, all that stuff. So he works with different limo companies, tour buses, whatever, to get these kids to kind of their treatments in like style. So like a limo might pick them up, a town car, a tour bus. So it allows the families to kind of just like relax with their kids before and after their treatments, not to worry about parking and going. So realizing what the fundraiser was about and knowing that there was going to be videos and different things, like, it's going to be rough. And then when you're there and like the video plays, me and Mark before, like, shit, man, like, and then they're like, all right, it's time for the entertainment. And we're like, okay, we'll be right up. Like, because like all these like sad videos of these kids and these parents, like, thank you for star treatments. And like, so I knew just having that fun element, and I knew I was down in Lehigh Valley, so I know it was like right, close by to Mark. So like, hey, you want to do this thing? And he's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, why? He goes, I was just on with Matt talking about like star treatments. It was so weird. Wow. So weird.
Wow. I think Denny thought I was full of shit until I showed up and Matt was like, what are you doing here?
Yep, 1,000%. 1,000%.
Funny. Wow.
So we ended up doing
both of you for doing that. That's great.
Yeah, I think we raised a decent amount of money. A
lot of really good people, and I look forward to when things get back to normal and we'll be able to do it again.
I know.
How are you holding up with that, Danny? What I think Mark said you're doing some Zoom shows and things.
Yeah, I've been low-key killing it doing virtual shows. I've done over 90 virtual shows since April 1st.
Wow. Holy crap.
Yeah. And I'm starting to slow down a tiny bit just because, it was like there were some days I was doing 7, 8, 9, like back to back, every hour on the hour. I think I got Mark about, I don't know, 10 shows or so, maybe-ish. 7, 8, 9, 10 shows. So, I've been trying to share the wealth a bit too. It's just one of those, I was in a dark place for about a week and a half. I was going to say not many people know, but whatever. So, I had like a little nest egg saved up, but I completely panicked because everything shut down. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I panicked. So I, kind of put my ego aside and I went to my dad and was like, hey, can I come fill in some hours at the office or in the warehouse? Like whatever you guys need, like, I don't care. Just so, because I didn't want to have to wait, what if this was, going on 2, 3, 4 months? I didn't want to have to then go, oh, my stash is getting low. Now I have to start cutting corners. So I was like, you know what, let me just start now and just see how things go. Like I kind of put my ego aside for a little bit. I did that for about 2 weeks. And then I was like, forget this. Because to me, I felt like I kind of like mentally gave up. So then I put on my big boy pants. I got a bunch of equipment. A dedicated computer just for live streaming shows, some studio space. I have 3 different cameras. I think Mark saw them. They're pretty legit.
Amazing setup.
I have like 3 different cameras. I switch between the camera angles for like all the tricks and stuff. So that's why for here, I was like, how am I going to do this quick? So I'm so used to just like, oh, you want to see my hands? Click. It's like a camera that's like 3 inches from my hands. Like I have one that's like a stand up, one that's like a little bit more sit down and shows everything. I have like one like super close up to my hands. So then I was like, you know what? Why did I feel like I gave up? So I just reached out to my whole network. I have a list of really good clients, and I just pivoted very quickly into virtual shows. I also do a lot of MC work also in the corporate world for like a lot of events. Same reason why they might hire a comedian to like act on the fly. Same with like a magician. If a speaker shows up late, if they go too early, you can't let sometimes 500 to 1,000 people out early in a conference. There's other stuff going on. So having like a magic trick on me or something off the side of the stage, I can kill some time, have banter. So I've been doing a lot of virtual MC stuff also, since I have all like the broadcasting software and equipment and different cameras. So
That's
Good,
awesome, man.
Congrats. That's great.
It just goes to show you, man, that no matter what gets thrown at us, the entertainers, we always try to survive.
And we definitely will.
Well, things look good, man. I think we're going to start opening back up, and it's going to slowly move in the right direction as long as we don't rush it, right?
Yeah, I feel like comedy has it a tad bit easier because you don't have to use people on stage. So I feel like those type of shows might be more conducive to. I can't be like, pick a card. Wait, take off your mask. Like, like where you can be on stage, not be near anybody else.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think slowly, I mean, especially now, at least in PA, like, all the different townships and boroughs that are, going rogue and disobeying the governor orders and saying, we don't care, we're just going to open up. Like, I think the whole country is pretty much like that. They're like, you know what? We kind of flatten the curve.
Yeah. All right, well, I
Let's
think we
roll.
better wrap her up. We're at 50. So, folks, this has been a lot of fun. Check out Denny Corby, DennyCorby.com. Follow him on Facebook, Twitter. And, yep, there it is. Folks, that's Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling. Thank you.
Last call. Thanks for listening to Drinks, Jokes, and